So Wayne, we get asked this all the time when we're dealing with our customers. They're always asking things like, why is my radiator hot at the top but cold at the bottom?
Right, okay, so generally what that is an indication of is it is sediment at the bottom of the radiator, typically known as sludge. So in that instance, you will probably find that you're going to need a power flush for that system. Generally found on the bottom floor, because all your sediment from your heating system will find its way to the bottom of the radiators at the lowest point.
Right, okay. And is that why that would make one room colder than the others, or are there other reasons why a room would be colder than the others?
Obviously, if there's a large buildup of sediment in one area, in one room for example, that's going to take away a lot of the BTUs of that radiator. Therefore, that's going to have an impact on the heat distribution of that room.
Okay. So is there an ideal place in a room where radiators should be positioned? I've heard things about them not being near windows, or they're better under windows. Is there like the best place for the best heating in that room that you would put a radiator?
Generally, people put them in the windows just because of furniture positions. However, it doesn't really matter in a smaller room where the radiator goes. The way that the radiator distributes heat will find its way to the whole of the room. However, if you had a large room, you'd generally stick a radiator at each end of the room to evenly distribute that heat and avoid cold spots.
Fab, okay. And what would you say is the biggest mistake people make when they are buying radiators?
Generally, it's to do with the BTUs. So first of all, it's deciding how many BTUs you need for your particular room. There are many BTU calculators out there. A lot of them don't take into account the fabric of the actual room that you're trying to work out, i.e. patio doors, cavity wall insulation. So it is important to get that right first. If you go shopping for a radiator, you might not have worked out the heat loss for that room. Secondly, you've got companies out there that are actually marking these BTU calculations up by using Delta 70, when in the UK we actually use Delta 50. So here at the Radiator Hub, we always work out radiators at Delta 50, making sure it's going to do the job for your property.
Right, so if you saw a radiator online and it said it had 5,000 BTU, but you looked at it closely and it was calculated at Delta 70, that wouldn't actually be the right heat for your room and for your boiler, because we are operating in the UK at Delta 50.
Correct.
Okay. So it's really important to actually look and see exactly what heat your radiator is to make sure it's the right heat for your room. So I have a customer who came in this week and they've just had a really nice extension done in the downstairs of their property. But what they do have now is quite limited wall space, because there's a lot of bifold doors and patio doors. And they need to know what would be the best way to heat that space.
Right, okay. Generally, we see this time and time again in kitchens. People want all nice, wonderful kitchens, a lot of storage, loads of wall units, so it leaves little space for a radiator. In that situation, if it's a large kitchen, you'd be forced to go down the aluminium route for your heat output. A lot of people put them on like kitchen pillars. You know, an aluminium radiator, 500 wide, 1800 high, you can achieve about 8,000 BTUs off that. The larger the kitchen, you may need to put 2 in to achieve your desired BTU calc.